The insane scale of Europe's new megatunnel. Can you imagine driving in a tunnel completely submerged underwater going from Germany to Denmark? This mega project is said to be the largest in the whole of Europe, which is a huge part of solving one of the transportation problems on the continent. This is the joining of the link from Denmark to Germany. A body of water that separates the road between Germany and Denmark is called the Fehmarn Belt. This mega project is one of the largest feats of engineering in Europe, with an estimated cost of over $7.5 billion, and can improve the mode of transportation of a whole continent when you change what is taking place on a German island where the megatunnel is being built. It is one of the largest projects that Europe has ever done before, and will take place on the largest construction site made in Europe. This is going to be the longest tunnel in the entire world. A place with no instruction manual will be the fastest route between Scandinavia and Central Europe, and it is said to be the largest technological mega project ever to be built on Earth. Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel, where we talk about breathtaking infrastructure, amazing architecture, and wondrous buildings across the world. And today, we are going to show the tremendous planning and construction concerning the insane scale of a new European megatunnel project, the beginning of a new era. In 2008, the German and Danish governments signed an agreement between regions to connect the link on the Fehmarn Belt to make transportation from Denmark to Germany faster by land. It is the beginning of a new era, a new phase, a new milestone that is yet to be achieved. The journey from Sweden to Denmark is a very long 5.5-hour train ride, and that is just for the fast train, which is quite long and even slower than a normal train. As Germany is the second biggest exchange export market for Sweden, this project will be a huge deal for the export market. The Swedish government examined the road distance between Germany and Sweden and saw the Fehmarn Belt as a form of shortcut for the export market, which will give them a shorter time to transport goods. How is this amazing project being built? The construction site where they are building is in Rødbyhavn, which is the Danish region of the Fehmarn Belt, which is one of the largest construction sites in Europe. It also has a harbor for picking up materials used for the project, and the northern portal where the tunnel will resurface. It has a company of 1,300 workers and took them about 2 years to build the construction work site. It has been built by a construction company called Tommen AS. The factory for this project is one of the largest in Denmark. They bring all the materials that will be used on the project to the site from the seaport through the harbor so that all materials will be easily accessible. They would then be made to build the tunnels, which the materials will then be brought into the factories, and the construction for the tunnel will start by making a segment of the tunnel at a time. The total amount of segments used to build one tunnel is 9, and it takes over 36 hours to make one segment. The concrete that is going to be made will be 220 meters long and 40 meters wide, which is to accommodate the 2 railway systems, 2 motorway tunnels, and passageway tunnels. When the tunnel element is made, it will be brought out of the factory and then taken to the upper basin by the sea. The basin will then be flooded with one of the tugs that enables the tunnel to float on the water. Tugboats will then drag the tunnel element to sea where, after it is dragged down into the sea by gravity, will rest at a depth of nearly 40 meters. The segments will be aligned perfectly, with each tunnel aligning 15 millimeters between each other, and joined together with something called a Gina gasket, which makes the tunnel seal together in order to avoid air holes. The water in the tunnel is then drained out with a vacuum while the Gina gasket closes the tunnel short. After setting all the tunnels in place, it is then covered with a bed of gravel and then topped with sand. Ventilation and airway circulation are still a topic of provisioning, which will be solved when it fully opens in 2029. This immersed tube tunnel wasn't the initial plan for this insane mega project. It was simply the best possible option that could make it on the drawing board. It is very simple to explain. As previously stated, tunnel tubes at the surface are manufactured in a dry factory. Instead of digging a tunnel down into the seabed, you just build a trench at the bottom of the seabed. Then, you get your tubes and align them on the trench and join them together. And finally, cover everything back up. This is a nice option because it prevents the disturbance of sea transport above and eliminates the worry of wind and tide disturbances that would normally impact a traditional bridge. other options considered. But before this option was even considered, other options were meant to join the link that could not fully be placed on a planning stage because of how impossible it was to fulfill them. So the German and Danish governments came up with different methods of solving the problem. The first option was the bored tunnel. There are some advantages to the bored tunnel. The first reason is that it would not cause any disturbance to the surface, which is why underground railways can be found in most major cities. The second reason is also great because Femharn has a very delicate ecosystem that may take years to recover its normal state even though the boring tunnel is expensive. It becomes economically wiser the farther you go with it. The tunnel is dug by a boring machine, or TBM for short, with the width of the tunnel depending on the machine. The one used in London was about 70 meters wide and is also good for railways that are going underground. Most underground tunnels house railways, but the projects that Germany is making have a compression of 2 wheelways per passageway and 2 driverways or a highway, which will mean 5 tunnels, which equals 5 times the cost of 1 tunnel. Trains wouldn't be able to pass through the bored tunnel because of the 40-meter depth of the sea, and the expense cost was too high, so a bored tunnel was out of the option. The second option they came up with and considered was a bridge. The bridge would have been a 2-tier system and would consist of a 4-lane road that would be able to carry passengers to the top of the structure and would have had a train at the bottom section while leaving enough room for boats to pass under. The bridge would have had to have a length of 700 meters due to the depth of the sea being 40 meters, and the soil condition wasn't appropriate for building a firm foundation as it was later discovered. Additionally, the wind would have had a major impact on the bridge as most bridges go from east to west, but the road to Femharn Belt is south to west, which would be very difficult to build, so it was cancelled out as a plan of the link between places. We are still waiting to see the amazing unfolding development that Europe has to offer on this project. It will serve as an inspiration to others who are aspiring to build the impossible. The world is looking at Europe and the completion of this project. This is an example of the human mind thinking outside the box to make something incredible. This insane mega project is a true miracle waiting to unfold. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. If you want more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe by pressing the subscription button. You should also turn on your notifications on your phone or laptop to enjoy wonderful videos like this concerning infrastructure, architecture, amazing buildings, and wonders of the world. Until next time, thank you so much.